Jump off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm Not Using It. Get Balance with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on CNBC News, NBC News, and NBC Sports Radio station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Amazon, Audible, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, Spreaker, and more. Why so many places? Because I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip on the show, no scandal, and no K words, no Kanye, formerly or now talk. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. So I have topics and guests and series to that end. I am so delighted to tell you that today is 595 consecutive weeks on the air. Those of you who said that good news would not last, I'm so glad you're wrong. Normally, I like everybody to be correct and right, but I'm glad you're wrong because it is my mission in life, Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And so far, we are on target. I think I added the other day, and it's like at about 44 million, thanks to my tours in Philippines and China before the pandemic. And now we're back on the motivational speaking trail. And so we just continue to welcome more and more people who are wanting to drink my Kool-Aid to know that life does not suck. And that's one of the most important lines in a new film, actually my first film, that if you haven't seen it on YouTube channel, it's called PPP, Post-Pandemic Possibilities. Please feel welcome to watch that. It's free subscribe to my YouTube channel that houses all 1,025 shows. So I am so glad that you're here. And if you're seeing someone lovely in studio with me, that's because she is my volunteer. Thank you for the finger. I see the eyeballs rolling in. Not that finger, this finger. Someone who is not driving is now tuned in to stream and listen and watch and ask questions if you have them. But I convinced Veery to come on and share with me some areas that might, benefit from a little bit of Happy 88 tools. And that's what we're going to do today. It is Mental Health Monday Matters, the new series that I've started this year. And I'm so glad that it is taking off. If you would like to be my next victim, volunteer, please do go to drmarissa.life. If you go on the radio TV page, just sign up. And it's a free happiness coaching session valued at $350 or $250 for a sliding scale. And I'm so glad that people are taking advantage of it. And I get to do what I love to do best, which is just be in the flow of what my UPS, my universal power source, is delivering. Never know what I'm quite going to say on Mondays. It's not a rainy day, and Mondays always get me up. Hashtag UP Unlimited Possibilities. So before we start, we're going to do a quick breakfast with Dr. Marissa and her guest, which is 8 things you are specifically grateful for. Frank, if you want to tag in there, we're going to do 1-word gratitudes. That's at the top of the button. And then tonight, before you go to bed, I want you to do 8 things that you like about yourself. Again, 1-word adjectives of what you like, because I believe that the foundation of mental health, good mental health, is self-care, self-love, self-appreciation. So that's why we do breakfast. So let's start with 8 things that you are grateful for outside of yourself. I will say I am grateful for virtual studios that allow me to broadcast from, oh, Canada, my, not my home, but my native land where I was born. All right. That was more than one word. Sorry, I cheated. Viri, what are you grateful
Good
for?
morning. I am grateful for the sun.
I'm grateful for my brother's pool that I could still do laps in.
I'm grateful for my family.
Mm, Grateful for delicious Chinese food.
Ooh. I am grateful for my pets.
I'm grateful for my nieces and nephews that I get to see whenever I come back to visit mom. One
I'm
more.
great. Well, I'm grateful for the ocean.
Beautiful. And now we're going to go to the bottom of the bun, which is what do you like about yourself? What are four for you, four for me, qualities, um, adjectives at the core of who you are that you like? So this is to substitute in before you go to bed instead of thinking about what I didn't get done, who done who wrong, what horrible catastrophes are happening in the world. Instead, you're going to think about what you approve and love about yourself. All right. So I appreciate that I am helpful.
I appreciate that I am kind.
I appreciate that I am um, resourceful.
I appreciate that I am compassionate.
Mm. I appreciate that I am fabulous 88% of the time. 12% of the time I step in it.
I appreciate that I am funny, especially in Spanish.
Yes. Yes, wonderful. And laughter's my favorite sound on the planet, so I'm glad that you are funny. And that is it for Breakfast with Dr. Marissa and my guest in studio today, Viri, and she and I are now going to jump into happiness coaching, but that is your first tool, Viri. No matter what is happening around you, no matter what has happened, yesterday. One of my teachers, Esther Hicks, in Law of Attraction, says that when you sleep, your momentum stops. So if you've been like chewing on a problem or your undies are up by your ears because you're frustrated or confused or worried, all of that stops when you sleep. And it's your choice when you wake up whether to grab that from yesterday and bring it in today. And one of the easiest ways to not do that is to just wake up, breathe, and then what are 8 things that I'm grateful for? And then at the end of the night, before you sleep, 8 things that you appreciate about yourself. And that's Dr. Marissa's gratitude sandwich. So that's a really good practice. If you do it for 28 consecutive days, scientists say that that's what it takes, although 42.7% of statistics are made up on the spot. So we don't know if that's actually true, but let's just say 28
Let's try it
days.
out.
Then it becomes a habit. And when it becomes a habit, it becomes easier and more automatic. And I know that I promise the guarantee is if you sandwich your day in the most positive way with the gratitude and appreciation, your life will change. And it's pretty cheap to do too. It doesn't require a $10,000 program for sure.
True.
All right. And
Thank
that's
you.
breakfast. Let's just give ourselves a little love for that. Gotta find where the buttons are on my brother's computer here. All right. All right. Now we're going to go to happiness coaching. So, what I'd like you to do is put your feet flat on the floor beneath you. I want you to put your palms up like this in your lap so you are receptive and open. Gently close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose. This is Dr. Marissa's 3-breath technology. First breath in through the nose and releasing soft shoulders, soft elbows, and soft knees. So you're bringing your breath in consciously with your body the physical connection of chi, eternal energy, which is the breath, and breathe in again through the nose. Now you're going to activate your mind and release all the stories and the drama in your life. That's activating the mind, the mental. And one last deep breath in through the nose and connecting with your soul and spirit, which is that third realm, that spiritual, that unseen, but energetic field that connects us all. If you think about it, our breath and release. Keep your eyes closed. That breath is also a symbol of abundance because when I take a breath, I take nothing from you. And that's why we just know that life is good. And we can use that as an example. So, keeping your eyes closed now, I'm going to ask you a series of questions that you're going to give me a rating on. 1 being horrible, 10 being fantabulous. 8 is a good number. It's a homonym for good fortune in Chinese. So 8 is a good number. You don't have to go to 10, but I want you to think about the category of health and wellness on a scale of 1 to 10. You're being honest, and there's nobody's going to challenge you on this, but in your mind, what is the number that best describes your health and wellness right now?
About a 5.
5. And if I could get you to speak up just a bit, I don't know if Frank's, you know what? It's my computer. We're good. And then keeping your eyes closed, same scale on relationships. So overall, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are your relationships?
A 6.
A 6. And last one is job and career. What number that would that be?
Mm, a 6.
6 as well. All right. And take a deep breath in and release. Gently opening your eyes, coming back to the room. Beautiful. All right. So we have you have choices. Which one do you think would be the easiest to up level right now? What's the one thing that if you could shift, if you could change, would like the lowest hanging fruit? And we'll go with that one because it's that's the order of change. If we can start with things that you'll see some results, what happens is your change person inside gets excited, and then it's easier to change the next level up. Okay, so what's the one thing that you just you wish you could change, but you can't? And let's tackle that one.
Relations.
Okay, let's go to
Relationships.
relationships. And you are on camera, and we are using your full name. So you can use somebody else's name. So you're not going to, change the names to protect the guilty kind of thing. But tell me as much about that relationship that you are not happy with or is unhappy making.
I believe it starts with myself when I am struggling or things are out of balance, which they are at the moment. I tend to stay away from my friends or family or things. It's like an arm's length. So I struggle with asking for help or, having them in whatever's going on in my mind or in my life. And I'm trying to
Mm,
change that because
beautiful.
they love me, they want to support me, and I'm pushing them away.
Mm. So that's a great one. Let's go a little deep with this, and I'm going to ask you, and I want you to nod if any of these statements sound like you, and shake your head when they are not accurate for you. So I'm going to do a little assessment here. So I don't want people to know that I don't have it together. I don't want people to get too close to me because they might hurt me. I don't want people to know what's going on because I'm embarrassed about where I am. I don't want people to worry about me. I don't want people to judge me.
Mm,
I don't want to be open to criticism. I if I have 99 things that are going right and one thing that is going wrong, I focus on the one wrong thing. I am very hard on myself. I am my own worst critic. I beat myself up on a regular basis. If I could just live on a desert island by myself, I would. Okay. Thank you for being honest. And I'm definitely going to give you some love for that. Because the good
Thank you.
news is you're not alone. The bad news is you're not alone. And these things, and Frank, you could probably chime in to make her feel better. Like, were you also nodding or shaking? What at what I have never met, because I do this from stage, and I'll ask people to raise their hands if the statement is true or nod their heads. And the one that everybody nods, and maybe it's because only high achievement oriented people go to events on the weekend or extracurricular, and they're hard on themselves. Like, I think that one, I'm my own worst critic, is the number one. Everybody can identify, and
Mhm.
it's crazy, right? Because everybody looks like they've got it together. I wouldn't say everybody. I would say at least 88% of the people look like they have it together, right? And
Mhm.
I have this great one of the happy 88 tools that's kind of funny but not funny, is called the zit factor. So the zit factor says you feel like there's a zit on your face, and and
Mhm.
you believe that everybody can see this giant popping red pus filled, and you could feel it, and actually nobody can see it,
Mhm.
right? But as soon as you point it out, everybody's looking at it. They cannot not look at it. So now, for most people, you don't want to necessarily vomit out all of your insecurities, right? You don't want to
Mhm.
necessarily have people focus on what's not good about you, that 12% that everybody has. No one is perfect, but perfectionism is a dis-ease with life that many of us have been, it's a habit. Now, uh, partially because of society, right? We're only showing the best side of ourselves. That expression, you're too young, but the Joneses, right? Impressing the Joneses. You want to look like you're better than other. You want to be the object of, ooh, I wish I had what they do. And we glorify people with a lot of material success, with a lot of, popularity, and their household name. And wow, I wish I could be like that. And that's the way our system and our media, all of that is that's the way it is. So we're kind of trained into that by our society. So you can have a perfectly healthy, normal, leave it to beaver, perfect home life, and still get into that trap or catch the dis-ease of perfectionism. So if you don't have it all together, oh my God, I still have this to do. And oh my God, I still have that to do. No matter what someone says to you, oh, wow, look at your young age. You've accomplished so much. I used to love hearing that, right? And
Mhm.
I would say, thank you very much. And then inside, my critic would be saying, if they only knew what you were really like, they wouldn't be so complimentary. They would actually, be judging you or criticizing you. So that's normal. Okay. So you're not abnormal. There's nothing wrong with you. You good. Take that breath. Just accept it. It's like you're human. That's what humans are. Now, if you are also, and I am the poster child, which is my mission to talk to the 7 out of 10 of us who haven't had normal childhoods, who were told that they weren't good enough, who were told they were fat, ugly, and clumsy. That's my song that I get. And I've only been told 3 times this trip, and I've only been here 4 days by my beloved mom, who
Mm.
she's still in that mindset of negative motivation. So I've been told I'm fat 3 times
Oh, I'm
since I've been
sorry.
here with her. And she does the best that she can. She just can't help it. My job is to not react to it. Eh, I'm successful like 88% of the time. But if you are one of the people who, like me, have had really um, uh, difficult, shiitake filled childhood, 7 out of 10 of us who had, who and that message that you're not good enough was planted there. You didn't even develop it, but then you add on to it with every criticism and being hard on yourself. Then you're active wanting to live on a desert island and not being afraid to be too close to people because you just don't want that feeling of being um hurt again. Nobody
Mhm.
wants to feel hurt again.
Yeah.
So, in order to not feel hurt, if you're a kid and you can't get out of the, firing range, when you're an adult, you move, right? I know some of my clients come to me and say, never want to talk to my mother again, never want to see
Yeah.
my family again. So much pain and hurt in the past. And
Mhm.
so I'm good. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to see them, but they're leading with their pain. They're leading with their dis-ease, which is not good because then also keeps everybody else at bay, which is,
Mhm.
we're social animals. And as much as you think you can survive in isolation, you can't. And you know that. So the first thing I'll say, you have a lot of self-awareness, which is wonderful. And I want you to, anytime you start beating yourself up, is say, mm-mm, thank you very much, critic. But I am ahead of the game. I have the self awareness and I'm doing something about it. And I volunteered to be on the show with Dr. Marissa to receive some tools to be able to use. And so thank you very much. Sit down. You've been yelling at me for my entire life, and you're not the boss of me. Your critic is not the boss of you. So today, September, what day is it today? September
25th.
today, September 25th. 25th is a good day. It's all Santa 25. So on the 25th, you are being introduced to who you really are. You are balanced, centered, very. And balance centered Viri is fabulous. She's 88% fabulous, 12% she still steps in it, but that's okay. And 88% fabulous Viri is now sitting in the driver's seat, driving your life car. So anytime the critic, you're going to put the critic now into the passenger seat, put your arm around her, and we're going to give her a name. What is the name of or initials of someone who represents your critic? Now, my critic is named Rose. Guess what my mom's name is? It's not to bash my mom. It is a quick reminder that it is not Balance Center Dr. Marissa who's talking when I hear a criticism. Anytime I hear a criticism, I know it's Rose, and I say, thank you very much. Have a seat. You've been yelling at me my whole life. You got to be tired and just relax, take a vacation. Got it? So, what's the name
It will be
or initials?
C.
C?
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay, put your arm around C.
Or Casey. That's the name.
There we go. Casey. Oh, Casey. Casey, I love you.
I love you.
Thank you very much for telling me where I'm wrong,
Thank you very much for telling me where I'm wrong,
because I know you're trying to protect me,
because I know you're trying to protect me.
because that's the opposite of critic, always trying to protect you, right? Thank you for not letting me get run over by cars
Thank you for not letting me get run over by cars
or have red hands from putting them on the stove.
or have red hands for putting them on the stove.
But your yelling at me now is hurting me.
But you yelling at me now is hurting me.
And I am so beaten up
And I'm so beaten up
that I don't want to see what's good in life.
that I don't want to see what's good in life.
So I'm going to give you a break.
So I'm going to give you a break.
You're in a timeout vacation.
You're in a timeout vacation.
Sit on the passenger side.
Stay on the passenger side.
Take a load off.
Take a load off.
Buckle your seatbelt.
Buckle your seatbelt.
I got this.
I got this.
I'm now taking over
I'm now taking over
driving my life car.
driving my life car.
I love you very much.
I love you very much.
Shut the fork up. No, I'm kidding.
It is needed.
Good.
Very much
Yes.
needed.
So that is now the what is that? Operandi modus. This is your standard operating procedure. Anytime you hear a criticism, no, when someone says that loves you very much, are you okay? Instead of saying I'm fine, and fine stands for effed up, irrational, neurotic, and emotional. Okay, then you know that it's C talking, right? Or
Mhm.
Casey. So you
Casey.
want to say, thank you very much. Have a seat. Now, there are some
Yes.
coaches that will say you want to kill the biatch, right? The beach. You want to throw her on the 405, run over her, kill the critic. And that is the worst possible thing, because the critic is an important part of you. It really did help you navigate, especially if you're one of the 7 out of 10 of us, navigate the rapid white waters of your youth. I would be probably dead without my critic when I was young, because it was so painful, right? That was developed as a coping mechanism. So I want to value the parts of myself that helped me. But right now, you're carrying a raft that you don't need anymore. It's heavy. There's no more water. What are you still carrying that out on for? So hopefully that made sense to you.
It does.
Okay.
Yes.
And now you have some way of reacting to or speaking to that real life voice. And it is real, because those of us I grew up being told, if you hear voices in your head, you're crazy. And I'm here to tell you that if you don't soothe those voices in your head, you will go crazy,
Yeah.
right? Because
It
you're
is
going to
true.
be isolated. You're going to just, and for perfectionists, the road is like this: perfectionism, procrastination, because you don't want to do anything, that'll get you criticism, and then paralysis. You don't do anything at all because you're afraid to fail, or you're afraid to look stupid, or you're afraid to disappoint someone. All of those things are not true, right? And extra baggage that you really don't need to carry into your present and spew onto your future.
And
Yeah.
it is difficult, right, to choose happiness, because it's that constant struggle of, I want to choose happiness. I want to be part of that 88%. And yet there's this critic that is just still trying to get control when it's not needed
Yeah.
anymore. Not
Yeah.
to that extent.
Well, your
Thank
critic
you.
has, been in charge. How old are you? How young are you?
I don't like to
Oh,
share.
that's fine. Okay, then
Yeah,
let's get what
it's because
decades.
sometimes people think that your age tells them maturity or experience or anything,
Ah,
and that is not true.
that's the zit
Somebody can
factor.
go through, life
Mhm.
and have so many, life altering experiences, and just because of your age, they think they know better, or
Right.
that, it just disqualifies anything that you have to bring to the table.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good thing. I don't I'm ageless. No, very few people know how young I really am because I'm also it's like the zit factor, right? It's
Mm.
better there's a saying, it's better to be thought stupid than to open your mouth and confirm it.
Yes.
Then it's also better to be thought young, in my case, maybe older in your case, than to open your mouth and disconfirm it. So I support it. I was only asking you to to help your balance centered Viri to acknowledge that your critic has been driving your life car for decades, or for a while, and it's now a habit. So it's going to take some muscle, some discipline, as I call it, to
Yes.
constantly assert your balance centered Viri. So in the next week, it's going to be, oh my god, I feel like I'm going crazy because it's so much. That criticism is so strong, and your critic's not going to like sitting in the passenger seat. It likes driving.
Mhm.
Right? So, as much as you can soothe, and because you have volunteered to be a victim today, you're going to get a free audiobook copy of my number one best-selling book, 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. And there's 2 exercises I want you to really focus on. And I forgot to do a station ID. Thank you, Frank. I'm going to make you remind me from now on. If you've just tuned in and you're wondering what's going on in the studio today, you are tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, and my YouTube channel, where you free subscribe and you will get every one of the 1,026 shows, and you'll get an alert every weekday morning to tune in to KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And it is Mental Health Monday. Mental health matters. And we do have a victim volunteer named Balance Centered Viri. And we're talking about that internal critical voice that affects almost all of us. I've only met one woman who doesn't have that voice. She was a guest of mine, and she's done a lot of work so that she doesn't have that voice. I don't think I will ever get rid of that voice, because I think that it's just normal to have. Maybe it's because I'm Chinese and there's a saying, the nail that stands up is hammered down. So for me to be perfect or to have mastered this is not part of my ability to brag about or anything. But I definitely don't have it down. I still wake up mornings with a fat and ugly attack. And I'm like, okay, obviously what my mom said to me yesterday did impact me, and I feel like a little girl again, and I need to do some work to remind myself that no, I'm not fat, no, I'm not ugly. I am just me, and I'm 88% fabulous. And yeah, I did give in, and I did buy butter tarts yesterday, and I did only have one because you can't get butter tarts in the States, and it's a wonderful, yummy treat. But I'm not going to beat myself up for that. I did my bike work and my swim work, and I do the best that I can. There's another tool. Oh, I forgot to tell you, 2 exercises in the book. So all of y'all, You know what? I'll give an Asian Oprah giveaway to the first person that goes to drmarissa.life today. And I'll send you also an audiobook copy for my Asian Oprah giveaway. By the way, if you don't know why I'm called Asian Oprah, I was actually introduced to Oprah as the Asian Oprah by Michael Bernard Beckwith, my big brother, founder of Agape International Spiritual Center. And that's how I got the name. So,
Awesome.
and you know how she goes, you get a car and I haven't done cars yet, but I will give you an audiobook copy of the first
Thank
person
you.
who is, and you as well for being
Thank
a
you.
volunteer. All right. So the two exercises are one, who am I really? So the that I think is on page 159. And then the second one is the insulting game. So this what I would like you to do as soon as you get off here, because it's fresh. I want you to write down all of those negative things that go through your head that Casey is constantly bringing up. You're not thin enough. You're fat. You're dumb. You should be further along. You should have gone to that school. You should have done this. All of the insults, I want you to actually write down. Now people go, why would you want to do that, Dr. Rissa? That's like suicide. No, because once you have them out there, you can direct Casey to say, look, uh, you already said that. If you got something new, we'll entertain it. But you've already said that. Look, it's number 7 or some number 8.
Mhm.
And thank you very much. I know you're trying to protect me. I know you're trying to keep me from, failing in life, but I'm not a failure. So this level of talking, try not to do it in the line in the grocery store because people will think you're crazy, but you can wear an earpiece so you can pretend that you're actually talking to
Talking to someone.
someone. But it is absolutely a very useful exercise. Does that make
Thank you.
sense?
Yes, I will
Okay,
do that.
perfect. That's like a major, major tool to use that I do in my happiness coaching. All right. So let's give you some verbiage for balance centered Viri as a homework. Okay. So is there one person? So I have one person in my life where I tell the truth. Like, I mean, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, like she's my truth partner, right? And I don't need 5, I don't need 2, I just need one person. And I believe that that's healthy. If you can, because there's an expression in a 12-step program called you're only as sick as your secrets. So if you are keeping to yourself some of your most biggest regrets, or afraid to tell someone, or afraid to be real, or afraid to tell the truth, that gets infected. So when you are, I want to tell you something that is just heavy on my heart and heavy on my mind, and I don't want to live with this anymore. So I I know you love me, and I have to have you promise that you're not going to share this, because I need to have a trust partner. So I think that good mental health starts with self-care, and the way you next is find someone in life that loves you beyond loves you. And I want you to tell them, I don't want you to fix this. This may be something that will never be fixed, but I'm tired of carrying it around. I want to just share this. So one, that that I'm dealing with this, and I this is what I'm doing to try to make it better. Okay? So I just want you to know that I'm working on this, and that I know that you love me, and this will make me feel like I have someone to fall back into. So my Chinese dad was the person who I could fall back into. Like, no matter what I said to him, he would always, you know, see the best in me, so I know you have at least one person like that. I see it in your face.
Yes.
So that's the person that you want to say, you are now my trust partner. And that means you're also my vent partner. So when something goes wrong, I want the ability to call you up and say, "Ugh, I am so mad, or I am so sad, or I am so frustrated." And their job is to time you for 2 minutes. And you get to say whatever you want. You get to cry, you get to rant, you get to stomp your feet, whatever that emotion is, get it out, because that's so important. If we do not express all of those lower vibration, dark feelings, they get infected and they take up more volume than positive energy does. That's one of those laws, right? We're not taught that law, um, but it is law. It's not personal. It just happens that way. So if you want to get rid of that, you have to be able to deal with it, right? Then what you can offer them is, now you get to do the same thing to me. And now you become their trust and vent partner. And it's a beautiful thing because they can also keep you from dealing with it over and over again. Because if they call or you call and say, "Oh, that blankety blank," and it's the same blankety blank from yesterday, they get to say, "Anything new here? Nope, same old. Once and done." Now, you may have to give yourself 3 and done, right? But the goal is
Mhm.
1 and done, because the law of attraction says the more you deal with something, the bigger it gets. And sometimes we purposely bring negative things in our life because we just can't stop talking about them. We can't stop, thinking
True.
about them. And it just gets bigger and bigger and worse and worse. That's why I start with the gratitude sandwich. The more
Yeah.
I focus on the things that I love, more good things happen to me. Yesterday, after I was told I was fat again, I was just ready to, you know, and I
Mhm.
stopped myself and I was like, we've been here before, right? And it's not going to change. And she does the best that she can. And she's locked in that habit. So I'm not gonna, take that on and try to change it. I can't scold her enough to get her to stop saying that. It's just not going to happen. So what did I do? I allowed myself one butter tart and I soothed myself. And guess what happened? One of the most favorite things I love seeing in my life is birds flying in formation. And I live right on the ocean, so I get to see seagulls all the time flying in formation. Or when I'm driving, I'll see birds flying. And guess what?
Mhm.
I'm in Canada. I don't have seagulls where I am. I'm
Mm.
landlocked in Vaughan, Ontario, right? And guess what? I saw a beautiful formation. I don't even know what they were. They were little fat black, not crows. And they were flying in formation like right in front of me. And I know that's my yes.
Mhm.
You took care of yourself and here's your reward. Right?
Yes,
So that's going to start
definitely.
happening to you. What do you like seeing? What do you see that you go, "Oh, I love that." What do you see that?
Just nature, trees, or the sunset, that's like
Okay.
my favorite.
Okay. Or cloud formations or anything to do with Mother Nature. You're going to start to notice that the more you strengthen balance centered Very, you are going to see things that surprise and delight you. That's just the way it is.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So, what's your homework?
The page 159, and then the insult game,
Mhm.
and also my trust partner. That's the main homework.
Yes. And what are the rules for your trust? Uh,
2 minutes.
yes. And you can say whatever you want, right?
Hmm.
And uh, but
They get
but
to do the same.
yes, and
I I can repeat it.
that's what I wanted you to say. Yeah.
Yes,
I
no
I would
repetition, because if you do, then we're just engaging more in that negative. We don't want that.
Exactly.
We want to attract the positive and be part of, yeah,
Exactly.
just
Exactly.
happy
And
people.
yeah, and it's So that person also can help you with that. So here's the thing. Some people say, you know, it's good to be able to uh talk about things, and let's go right to the common thing that people get hooked up in is going to a professional, and I'm not knocking therapists, but if you are talking about the same thing for 10 years, okay, then you're not working through it. You're reigniting and engaging in that over and over again. And that's the downside to, you know, this mental health awareness is it's great, you're going, but don't think that you have to go for the rest of your life. You don't, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
two common ways, and I may be unpopular for saying this, but it really is my job, I believe, is to highlight the fact that one, if you're going to take drugs for it, most people who reach for a drug for depression or for anxiety or for panic attacks, it is it might help for a little while, but there are side effects, and you are not truly dealing with it. You're just masking it or putting a layer of a
Mm-hmm.
band-aid on it. So if you really want to deal with the things that are triggering you to those emotions, then work with the underlying shiitake. If you work with the underlying shiitake, then you're able to really move past it. And there's a BS belief system that you don't want to go where the pain is because you think like you're Humpty Dumpty, you're going to go in that black hole, break into a million pieces and never come out again. And it's not true. And when I get to do happiness coaching, what we did today was we went down to that hole, right? I
Mm-hmm.
spoke all those things that you were afraid to admit, right? By nodding your head. That's showing you I jumped in that hole with you, held your hand, flashlight in the other hand. We went down there
Mm-hmm.
and we found you, the real you, balance centered Dr. V. And now all of the shiitake, right, that we just
Mm-hmm.
dug out and took out of the hole, we can put it back as fertilizer because
Yeah.
every negative thing that has ever happened to you in life has been there to chisel you into more and more beauty. And this is a fundamental BS belief system that, you know, so many people think the purpose in life is to avoid pain. So many
Mm-hmm.
people think that a good life is when you haven't had anything bad happen to you. And that is bullshit talkie.
It is.
Every time something bad, no one's immune. And if we can turn the corner and actually look at pain as the path to power. Pain is the path to power. That's been my newest thing.
Mm,
PPP.
I
If
like
there's
it.
something, thank you. Pain, path to power. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you look at a stone, a rock, and if you're a sculptor, do you make a beautiful sculpture by going, "Oh, nice rock, nice rock. I'm not going to chisel you. I'm not going to hurt
No,
you. I'm not going to use anything on you, right? I'm just going to
it
pat
stays the
you."
same.
Kind of silly, no?
Mm-hmm.
So if we
It
can
is.
embrace the pain, and it's not easy to do, of course, but honestly, for me, I wouldn't change one painful point in my life, and I have had quite a few. I wouldn't change a thing because every single point of pain has chiseled me into 88% fabulous.
Amazing. Yes,
Makes sense? Okay. So
it does.
what's your number now?
It's an 8.
Yeah, that's it.
It
Actually,
is.
I'm gonna say because 8 actually is the goal. Okay, so I'll say 7
7.
because you're thinking 10 is your goal, but you definitely made such a big stride today because your face looks different. Frank, look at her face. Her face actually is like genuinely glowing, right?
Thank you.
You are
Thank you so much
definitely,
for this space.
of course, of course. It's my pleasure for sure. Now, um, I know we're almost out of time. How much time do we have, Frank? I'm surprised you didn't put the 5 minutes up yet. I'm like going, this is one of
We
the
have
few times.
time.
There we go. Perfect timing. It's 5. I want to thank you. And before I let you go, I do want to give a couple more things away because we've got a couple of great ticket items to give away. So I'm just going to share this right now because when I get back, it'll be too late to give away. And I got to get used to my brother's computer here. All right, share screen and Chrome tab. Saban. So some of you remember my interview with Jeff Timmons, who is one of the members of 98 Degrees. It's right there. And it's going to be a great concert. It's at the Saban Theater, and it is on October the 6th. So it'll be right when I come back, and I want to make sure that I think I've got quite a few. I have to talk to Dana, but he's wonderful. He's the producer at Where Music Meets the Soul Productions, and he is giving me pairs of tickets. So I'll give one pair for now, and there are more. So if there's more than one person that contacts me, don't worry about it. You'll also get a pair. So that I'll be there October the 6th. Doors open at 7, headlines at 8, and you can go to Beverly Hills. It's a great location, and I usually go have dinner there before at this wonderful Saigon. Saigon is, my geography is horrible. Anyways, it's a great restaurant. They've got great wings, and I go there before, and I invite all the winners to come and share supper with me before we go to the show. So I'm giving a pair of tickets to that as my second Asian Oprah giveaway. Go to drmarissa.life and you will be able to get those tickets. And that is a second Asian Oprah giveaway for today. All right. What's the keeper for you, Viri? Result keepers. I use this when I do work as an organizational psychologist, and I do strategic planning and change management work in organizations. Every time someone gets to work with me, I ask them for the keeper. What's the one thing that you want to keep with you so you don't forget as a direct result of this hour that we've gotten to spend together?
To put Casey in the passenger seat and not in control. That is like one of the biggest things, like, you know, listening to those voices, but not doing what it tells me or engaging with that.
Beautiful, beautiful. And my final word is you are loving, lovable, and loved, and not your critic. You are wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness. You are one of a kind, wonderful. You are beautiful. You are every single person on the planet has unique talents, gifts, and abilities to share in this thing called life. And there's not one throwback in the bunch. So I want you to just grab life from this point forward, knowing that it's going up. Hashtag UP. Unlimited possibilities. I want you to know that to your toes and live that way. And I wish that for you, Viri, and anyone else who is listening, who is part of this, who absolutely knows that this is the truth. All right.
It is. Thank you
Here
so
we go.
much.
This is the thing that I do at the very end. Peace in. Ready? Put your fingers up. Thank you. Peace in. Peace out.
Peace out.
World
Peace out.
peace through inner peace. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live from Canada. And tune in tomorrow. It will be Step Up into Your Best Life with my house fitness, wellness certified expert, Beth Linder Moss. We'll see you tomorrow. Now, in the meantime, go and have the best day ever. See you tomorrow.
You're